Would you please describe your experience in the ei2 Leadership and Facilitator certification program? It has a unique approach to DEIB, equity and inclusion, belonging. Can you please share with us what your experience has been like and how it's impacted your own facilitation and your leadership, and then particularly your leadership in general?
I am happy to share how this experience has impacted my personal and professional practice because it's changed everything. I think differently, I move differently, I hold space differently for particularly for people's mistakes, for their mess ups, and for mine. I love differently. I hold space as a leader differently. Every day I walk alongside leaders in their own personal justice and inclusion and transformation efforts, their interpersonal work toward that, their organizational work toward that, and then working towards systemic and equitable and liberatory change. And before this cohort, I didn't know how to invest in myself along the journey. I didn't know how to forgive myself. I've learned how, in a transformational way, how to be more me, which holds space and opens up space for others to be more themselves.
Being a part of the ei2 cohort has impacted me in ways that I could not have even imagined. I didn't fully understand the shift inside of my core being that would happen through participation in this program. I definitely knew right away that it wasn't like other types of equity training that I have been a part of in years past.
This work that I have embarked on was way more than expected. I now have a deeper understanding of the principles related to DEIB work, an understanding of the impact of the current dominant culture, and also the impact of white fragility on this work as well. I would definitely recommend this training, this workshop, this community to anybody that's interested in furthering this work in a very impactful way. As I always say, it definitely was not what I expected. I got so much more than I ever anticipated.
When I signed up for the program, I didn't realize how much racialized trauma I was holding on to from my early childhood years to today. The design of the program is thoughtful and intentional. The faculty creates a safe and loving space for me to feel and heal first and foremost. My approach to leadership and facilitation in diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging has really shifted more towards a balance of being and doing. I've previously been focusing heavily on the doing of DEIB, more focused on action, education, training, facilitating various conversations. But this program has helped me see the critical importance of the being of DEIB, creating space to pause, slow down, and rest, and most importantly, to breathe and practice meditation.
With these unique competencies that we've pulled together, like emotional intelligence training, use of meditation in deep and integrated ways, racial healing, and general leadership intersectional development, how have you been able to apply these competencies to your own leadership setting, your own leadership work? Can you maybe give us a specific instance where it significantly influenced your work or your leadership?
I really love how so far the program is designed to, in a sense, start the process, be in a creative space to really dive deep into, white privilege, to start talking about that process, and then to have our ally groups to kind of have additional backup or support. And then the coaching, the one-on-one, to me was amazing. To be able to have, time with Toby and the team. I told him I felt like royalty because I was able to speak, with, those that there to help guide me and support me. So for me, in my new position, it's really allowed me to challenge white privilege and to challenge, whiteness within the school system. I've already had some very, very intentional conversations on how we talk about our students, what type of wording and expectations. And thank you, Toby, for helping me through that process, of challenging and giving me and this team the ability to start those processes.
One of the important ways that this program has helped me is in giving me a vocabulary to begin to even think about the kind of leader I am, but really just the kind of person I am, and to be able to name some of the things I've been feeling and been experiencing. So, for example, the term racial fatigue wasn't part of my vocabulary, but when Toby started to talk about it, I knew exactly what she was talking about. I knew I'd experienced it in the past and continued to experience it.
I now have tools and resources and practices to protect my peace and to rest in new intentional ways. I numb myself less, and when I do numb, I do it intentionally. I'm more aware of doing it. I meditate almost daily. I connect to my purpose, my life energy, and I see other people differently.
So we want to invite you to speak to the value of the community container of the program. How has access to that ongoing development and community supported you in your own leadership development and the work that you're doing on the ground day in and day out while you're in this program?
When I walked into day one of the opening retreat for the ei2 program, I didn't know any of the participants in the room. I was amazed at how quickly trusting friendships grew in the first couple hours of the retreat. I experienced some real and raw moments during the retreat, and it was the support of every single person in that room that helped me through one of the most challenging moments in my life. Since the opening retreat, the access to the faculty through coaching and the monthly virtual group sessions has been stellar. I know that if I need or want to reach out to any of them, I could. As part of the program, we are grouped with 3 other participants, our ally pod groups, and meet on a monthly basis. The value of the ally pod group connection is critical. Being able to connect with other participants who are going through the same program, but having very different aha moments, different challenges, different ways of growth, and yet we all have a similar end goal in mind.
The way that the program is structured in terms of all the community components took a minute to get used to, but now I really see it. I really see the design, the combination of the ally pod, the 2-to-1 coaching with mixed race coaches, and then the connection in our monthly learning and the opportunities to engage with the facilitators, the whole combination together. I'm really seeing the vision and the brilliance and the design and benefiting from all of those connection points. And that's something that stands out to me, is that the difference in the connection points, the ally pod, which feels close and like we've really gotten to know each other, like we know what each other is working towards, is one aspect. The coaching is invaluable. When in life will you ever have 2 people who are willing and wanting to spend time in focus of your own personal development as an emotionally intelligent, equity inclusion leader? So that's just been a gift, and what that has pushed in my own work and my own learning in between our coursework has been so valuable. So it's the combination of the things that create the magic. I think to pull any one of those pieces out, there would really be something missing, and there's real creativity and real diversity in the design that has created so much strength and power in the program.
would you recommend this program, Emotionally Intelligent Equity and Inclusion, to others? And what would you highlight about the program in your recommendation?
I would absolutely recommend this program to anyone who is, whether they plan to be an actual diversity, equity, inclusion, belonging facilitator, or if they're working on their own experience of how to combat internalized racism or whiteness or white supremacy culture. I think it's an incredibly powerful program that has a multiple pronged approach: internal, somatic, external, resisting grind culture, relational, working with different groups of people, different races. I think there's so much power to this program. And then on top of all of that, or under all of that, is the foundation of curriculum and material and learning and growth.
I highly recommend this program to anyone interested in truly making an impact on DEIB work. This program is so different than anything that you will ever experience. When I first started this program, I thought it was going to be sit and get, maybe some role playing and some practicing, but eventually I was going to walk out of there with a book or a notebook full of slides, slide decks that I could easily provide as training to my organization. What I got was something very, very different. The part and idea of working on yourself and inner work was foreign to me, but so much of that is so important in this work. If I had not have engaged in the work myself and doing the work for myself, I would not be able to provide trainings or coaching or even have conversations that are impactful in DEIB work moving forward. So the highlight of this training is that it is different, but it requires you to work on yourself. And working on yourself is really the foundation of being able to make an impact in our culture and in a positive way in which we want to do it.
In this experience, I have been consistently stretched, growing into myself in what was always here, into myself in ways that will and have already guided and transformed me, and I know will continue to grow and develop into future relationships, future organizational change, and future systemic racial and other equity. This is a cohort of love and of liberation, and I would recommend this because it's an experience that will change your life if you let it, and if you say yes. And as a practitioner and a business owner, working in this space and being in this space before this cohort and before this experience, this was exactly what I needed to change me, to grow me, to support me, not in a selfish way, but so that I could be more me, to be with others and support them to be more themselves. My personal transformation toward community, toward self and community liberation has been life-changing. This experience is holistic and it's beautiful. It's the most transformational experience of my life.